Namaskaram, Namaste. My name is Janani and our channel is the Divine Explorations. I have a very keen interest in reading various Indian scriptures and Puranas, and thus the purpose of this channel is to bring the lesser or unheard stories from our Puranas. Today I'm going to narrate one such story from the Mahabharata. We all have read or watched Mahabharata in its various versions. Mahabharata is not just a black and white epic or textbook on war between two families. It's much more than that. It provides us framework for way of living, and it's very much contemporary and applicable even in today's lifestyle. The more I read Mahabharata, the more I'm fascinated, and there is always a different meaning and application that I have learned from it, which I would like to share with you too. At a high level, the story is about war for kingdom between two families. You all know it's the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The Pandavas are Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva. And on the side of Kauravas, the 100 brothers, we have key characters which is Duryodhana, Dushasana, Vikarna and their uncle Sakuni. In the textbook, they have given all the 100 names of the brothers and one sister as well if you're interested to know more about them. The Pandavas, specifically Yudhishthira, the oldest brother, he loses everything, the kingdom, wealth, riches, everything unfairly in a game of dice against the Kauravas, which is here Duryodhana and Dushasana and their uncle Sakuni. And after this, they are sent into 13 years exile, where they need to lead a forest life. In the final year of their exile, they need to spend it in anonymity. I have been reading various versions, and recently I've been reading the unabridged version of Mahabharata, translated by Mr. Kisan Mohandas Ganguly, and also latest translation by Mr. Bibek de Broy. There is a rich wealth of knowledge, like I said, and lesser known stories from the Mahabharata. And today I'm going to share one such story. It's a story of love and resilience in the most adverse times. This story is specifically narrated to Yudhishthira and the Pandava brothers Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva by sage Brihadarashva. So the background goes like this. During the exile period, Arjuna, the third Pandava brother, and he's much loved by all the brothers and is their pillar of strength. He has gone away to obtain celestial weapons in preparation for war after their exile period, and thus he is separated from the brothers and their wife Draupadi. Yudhishthira is extremely disturbed and depressed with the shortcomings and also the state in which they have fallen, and they're all in the forest and he has put his brothers and wife in trouble. He's very much depressed. Specifically, they're all very sad at the separation from Arjuna. He's extremely depressed and he's lamenting his situation. Currently, at this time, a sage by the name Brihadarashva pays them a visit at their hermitage. Yudhishthira asks the sage if there was any other king on earth who was more misfortunate than him. It's like all of us. We fall into trouble and we think that we are the only one who is having the most difficult time with all the shortcomings. Similarly, Yudhishthira is going through this trouble in his mind and he asks sage Brihadarashva, is there any other king who has been more misfortunate than himself? At this, Brihadarashva replies to Yudhishthira, dear king, you think you're the most unfortunate one. But hear the story of Nala, the king of Nishada, who was more miserable than you. While you are in the forest, you're surrounded by your brave brothers, your wife, you have your weapons and chariot, and also you're surrounded by all these ascetics. He's got all these brahmanas who are also following them into the forest. But Nala, the king of Nishada, was all by himself in the forest, lonely and miserable, and after being defeated in a game of dice against his brother Pushkara. Thus, Brihadarashva narrates the story of King Nala and Princess Damayanti to Yudhishthira. So let's see who is Nala and who is Damayanti. Who is Nala? He is the king of Nishada and he's the son of a king named Virasena. He is referred by a few names and one of his other name is Punya Shloka. He is known to be exceptionally handsome, he's valorous, noble, generous, he adheres to dharma, he's very skilled with his horses. Back in those days, that's a very important skill, like to ride a horse, to yoke a horse. And he's described as being So handsome, he is compared to Kandarpa, the god of love, that nobody else is equivalent to him in beauty on heaven or earth. Also, the other key thing to note is he loved to play dice. Now, let's see who Damayanti is. There is a king by the name Bhima. He is the king of Vidarbha. This is not the same Bhima as the Bhima of Pandava brothers. And this king, Bhima, he did not have any children. And one day he was visited by a sage named Damana. So Bhima and his wife, they pay their respect and homage to the sage. And after doing all their duties, the sage is very pleased with their hospitality, and the sage decides to grant King Bhima and his wife a boon. As a result of this boon, they end up having 4 children. So they have 3 sons and a daughter. The daughter is Damayanti and the sons are Dama, Danta and Damana. All of them were born with great qualities again, beauty and valor, exceptionally beautiful. Now, Damayanti is the most beautiful woman on earth, and it is said that there is no one equal to her in beauty in heaven or earth. She was very fortunate. She had a lot of maids and friends who waited on her. Now, Nala and Damayanti, they haven't met each other, so they are in 2 different cities. They are probably like in Chennai and Hyderabad. Damayanti's beauty and virtues are praised in front of Nala, and likewise Nala's bravery, valor and how handsome he is spoken about to Damayanti. So thus, just hearing about each other, they fall in love even though they haven't seen each other. This is like, your pen love, and they have just formed some affection or infatuation just by this. Now let's see how Nala and Damayanti's love is further strengthened and how they end up meeting. So one day Nala, who's very much love-lorn, he's longing for Damayanti, and he's resting in a grove, like in a garden in the inner quarters of his palace. At this time, he spots a beautiful golden swans, and these swans have golden wings. He captures one of these swans, and as he catches the bird speaks to him in human language saying, "Oh Nala, O king, do not kill me. I will do anything for you." And the bird says, as if he knows already, "I'll speak your praises in Damayanti's presence so that she will never think of anyone but you." As soon as the bird says this, Nala lets go of the swan, and the swan flies to the kingdom of Vidarbha to Damayanti to relay the message. So Damayanti is in her garden with her friends, and these beautiful birds, golden swans, descend and come down from the sky. On seeing them, Damayanti and her friends, like Nala, they're all pursuing these beautiful birds to hold them. Each of her friend goes in different directions, and the swan with a message for Damayanti leads her to a secluded area and speaks in the human language. The swan tells Damayanti about Nala, describes his beauty, his valor, and how there is no one in heaven or earth equivalent to him. And the swan says that if she becomes his wife, then it will be a perfect union, 2 perfect people of perfect qualities coming together. And after saying this, Damayanti conveys a message back to Nala, and the swan goes back to Nala. Post this episode with the golden swan, Damayanti is very disturbed by love. She can't stop thinking of Nala, and as a result, she stops eating or sleeping or playing with her friends or talking to her friends. Her friends notice this, and they convey the message to King Bhima, that's Damayanti's father, about her state. The king becomes worried and understands perhaps this is time that Damayanti has come of age and that he needs to organize a Swayamvara for her. A Swayamvara is a royal wedding, as you may all know.